Hey everybody, Dan here with EasyPostureBrands.com. Today we're going to be discussing sciatica that affects the buttocks region, or sciatica that affects the posterior lateral hip. Sciatica is kind of an umbrella term that describes nerve pain along the posterior aspect of the thigh. That pain can be coming from either compression in the lumbar spine or compression underneath a muscle in the backside of the thigh. The sciatic nerve is formed from the lumbar plexus. The lumbar plexus is the nerves that come out of the lower back. They kind of form together this large sciatic nerve. That nerve goes down the backside of that leg, and the compression anywhere along this area can be referred to as sciatica. So when we're looking to improve your sciatica, we need to kind of address it in a multimodal approach. So a great way to help improve this irritation is to stretch any compressed muscles or tight muscles around the sciatic nerve. Additionally, we need to mobilize joints that might be tight and disrupting our biomechanics. So if the hip muscle or the hip joint is tight, we need to improve the mobility around here to improve our biomechanics. We need to improve the neurodynamics of the sciatic nerve. Nerves can kind of slide and glide like any other structure in the body. So improving some neurodynamics here is going to help reduce sensitivity of that nerve. And finally, we need to improve the strength around the lumbopelvic area. What this is going to do is it's going to correct any up the string factors that might be contributing to your sciatic nerve pain. Improving the core is going to take stress off of the structures that might be compressing that nerve. So follow along the regimen here, follow along these videos, see if we can kind of get you started on your journey at reducing sciatica that's manifesting as that buttock pain. This exercise is called a 90-90 hip rotation, or you might see it referred to as a shin box exercise. What you're going to do is you're going to set up on the floor with your front leg bent in front of you in this 90-degree hip flexion position, 90-degree knee flexion position with the foot straight out in front. The back leg is also going to be a 90-90, 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, facing the other direction. It's called a shin box because you could see a box between this shin, this thigh, and then this empty space here. I'm going to take one hand, I'm going to put it right in that box. My other hand is going to go right on the outside of that front leg. From here, what you're going to do is you're slowly going to lift the back knee up, and then you're going to switch your hips. This is a great stretch for sciatica and for any sciatica that's affecting the backside of the hips. We're going to hold each end range position for about a 5 to 10 count. And the magic of this exercise comes in that switch where we have to work those hips to their full available range of motion. So again, the first motion here is I'm lifting up the back knee and I'm taking my hands and I'm slowly just switching the hip position. If you watch my feet, they don't move a whole lot. Each kind of repetition through, if you have to make a little micro adjustment to find that box again, make those micro adjustments. But you're going to hold those end range positions for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then lift that back knee up and switch it. This is a great exercise because there's all kinds of progressions as you get better here. See if you can use the core muscles to do it even without hands. So this is a great advancement to make that core work for it. A good set and rep scheme here is going for 2 to 3 rounds, about 8 to 10 rotations through each direction, holding for about a 5 to 10 count. If you're new to this exercise, use your hands to start. If you're experienced with this exercise, challenge yourself, try to do it without the hands. This is called the 90-90 hip rotation or the shin box. This is the double knees to chest with the physio ball. I love this exercise for sciatica because it's going to get us into some gentle hip flexion while also bending our knees. The goal here is to stretch out some of the muscles on the backside of the hip, and it should feel really nice and relieving if you're experiencing sciatica kind of in that proximal hip or kind of up in the buttock region. What you're going to do is you're just going to prop your feet up on the ball. You're going to gently pull the ball towards you, one smooth motion, allowing your spine to kind of bend a little bit, those hips to flex. Take a deep breath in at the top, exhale, and push it all the way back out. This exercise is meant to be really gentle here, just to get some neurodynamics and some mobility in the hips and some of the muscles on the back side of the thigh. This is called the double knees to chest with the physio ball. A good dosage here is 2 to 3 rounds of about 10 to 12 repetitions, just working through the range of motion that's comfortable for you. If your sciatica is really volatile, you can use that other leg to pull a little bit more, and that's going to take some of the pressure off. So again, 2 to 3 rounds, about 10 to 12 repetitions here. The double knees to chest. This is the hamstring stretch with the strap. The strap here is going to allow you to pull your leg up a little bit higher than otherwise you would be able to on your own. So the goal here is to get into a straight leg raise position to reduce that sensitivity along the sciatic nerve distribution. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of choke up on the strap here. And at home, if you don't have a strap, you can use a long belt or even a bed sheet might work for this, but you're going to find your end reach. So right now, I'm kind of feeling that stretch kind of up in this proximal hip region. An important thing to note here with sciatica is that if I keep my knee all the way straight, that stretch is just going to go straight behind my knee and kind of along that nerve distribution there. So if I'm really experiencing a lot of buttock pain, I'm going to allow myself to bend this knee a little bit so I can get deeper into that motion and really find that stretch behind my hip. The straighter that knee is, the more you're going to feel it down the distal aspect of the hamstring. The more bent that knee is, the higher up you can pull, and you'll find that in the buttock region. You're going to hold this for about 30 seconds and then really slowly let it back down so that nerve doesn't kind of cause those muscles to have a reactive spasm. Take a 30-second break and then go right back in, kind of choking up until you find that symptom volatility point, holding again for 30 seconds. I would go for about 2 to 3 rounds of 30 seconds here. Should feel good. So if this is feeling painful, you're probably pushing too far into that stretch. So allow it to feel like it's working, but it should not be painful. This is the supine hamstring stretch with the strap. This seated stretch is a really nice way to reduce that sciatic nerve sensitivity if you're on a long car ride, maybe you're sitting in a plane, or maybe you just have a long day at work where you're sitting at a desk. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you're sitting with kind of that textbook posture. So I don't want to be kind of slumped over at my back, but I want to be kind of in that textbook posture here, kind of up on those sit bones. I'm going to cross the involved leg, so whichever leg I'm kind of having that sciatica on, I'm going to cross that over top of the non-involved leg. From there, I'm going to lean forward just a touch. So I'm not bending my back, but I'm kind of bringing that belly button towards the involved leg until I feel a little bit of a stretch behind that glute. From there, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to push straight down until that stretch intensifies. From here, I'm just going to hold it for about 30 seconds and then I'm slowly going to rock back. So again, I'm taking my belly button forward. I'm not bending my back, but I'm just taking that belly button forward, holding that position, and then pressing the outside of my knee down until I find a good intensity for me, holding for about 30 seconds, going 2 to 3 rounds through here. It's a great way to kind of loosen up that nerve while you're kind of confined in that seated position.